Good afternoon, everyone. Bill Fisher from Rescentris. We're the makers of a product called CERF. It's what we consider to be a great electronic laboratory notebook, but it's a bit more than that. It's a document management system at the heart of it. The system was built quite a long time ago. We've been in business for 9 years now. The founders actually created a product or a concept called BSML, the first XML markup language in the biotech space or bioinformatics space. And this is kind of the precursor to CERF. And so they have quite a bit of experience in this space. The idea is that from the very start, they understood that since they were coming from it from a bioinformatics standpoint, that everything that you do inside CERF, you want to be able to work with later regardless of what it is. So what's novel about CERF is that we actually support any file format that you can throw at it. We have about 55 different visualizers to view them in line, and with our newest release, we can actually visualize anything. And we can go into details if you head over to the exhibit hall, and I can explain to you how we're doing that. But the idea is that everyone's working on quite a bit of different types of work here. We've got organic chemistry, we've got biochemistry, we've got quite a bit going on in here. And so how's CERF going to go ahead and just kind of bring this all together? And so what I did today was I just brought a lot of screenshots so you can take a look at what CERF does, and then we can talk a little bit more if you have some questions. Multifunctional. Going ahead and embedding the applications that you use every day, so going ahead and embedding Microsoft Office, and that's easily done in here inside CERF. So we're looking at a left-hand navigation pane for files and folders, and right-hand side is kind of our metaphor for a page. What's novel about CERF is that another element is that we decided that a scientist thinks in pages because you're coming from that notebook metaphor, so let's just continue down the page with as many entries as you want, and every single one can be something different. That'll become apparent in a second. Another one that was running on Windows, running on a Macintosh looks the same. I don't know if this has a laser pointer. Yes. You guys can't see that at all, probably. So what we have here is like an orange label here and have green ones here. What these are different entries on a page. And as I said before, this is a document management system. So each one of those entries is literally a separate document. So you check it out, just as you're familiar with working with document management systems. They get the full audit trail in the background. There could be text. There could be, here's Excel on a Mac. And just keep on going like that. Here's an example of some novel data. I don't know how many folks are in here in immunology, but flow cytometry data easily being represented here inside CERF. An example of putting images in. I know from my background, I was at Merck for 12 years myself and formerly trained as a biochemical engineer, and it would have been a great asset to be able to put an image into my notebook and then label it and then later on be able to search on it, because what a bugger if someone came back to you to go ahead and look at data that was an image that didn't have any metadata around it. You couldn't search on it. So CERF enables you to put a layer right on top of the image, and then you can go ahead and do a search, and that's what I've just shown right here. So basically you can label it with... We're cutting in and out, Nora. All right. So another example of CERF taking advantage of its core components is the only ELN based on semantic web technology where we incorporate this ontology builder right in. That's our spreadsheet that's released now with version 4.0. And what it enables you to do is, besides all the traditional calculations you do with Excel, you can also go ahead and build your own ontologies right inside here, and also build things like in a validated spreadsheet where, for instance, if you needed to execute something procedurally, and if there was some flag that was thrown up that you needed to stop for whatever reason, if something was out of range, you could do that here. And again, that's just one of the entries on a page, while someone else could be working on some of the other elements or entries on a page. And then finally, here's an example of us working with ChemAxon, and I really appreciate them inviting us today. We have chemical structure here, and then below, using our internal spreadsheet, a stoichiometry and a balancing right below that. And then built in again using the JChem base technology and Marvin Sketch. This is an example of us integrating everything into the search engine. So what we've done is we built Marvin Sketch right here. We can draw it or use the file and open, then the hit list, and then we also provide previews as well, all the metadata, and also a launching point, because as I said before, it's a document management system, so you can just jump to a prior version just right from the same screen, all from the search screen. Multiplatform. If I didn't say it in the beginning, I guess I probably should have, is that CERF doesn't care what database you use, doesn't care what platform you're on. So I heard some folks talking about SharePoint. we support that. We also support Oracle, SQL Server, Postgres. It goes on and on. It doesn't matter what the database is. We're database agnostic, and we're also platform agnostic. So this is the idea of what it's like here. Of course, we saw the Windows platform, and here's the Mac platform, but then going a little deeper, of course, it's web-based too. If you need to use web-based, you can do that. If you don't want to deploy a client, you can use it here, web-based here. Here it is running on Linux. We also do have a Linux client for the few that may be interested in that. Here it is running on the web on a BlackBerry. Obviously pretty small screen now. So if you need the mobility. Very exciting. We're very excited about this. We're the first ones to release the ELN on an iPad. Right now it has limited functionality, and I could show it to you today if you're interested in that, but here's a couple snapshots of that. There's Excel, the flow cytometry data. Here we go with the organic chemistry pieces from ChemAxon. Going ahead to visualize that and actually being able to do not only pieces, but actually doing the searches. So on the fly, you could do searches right from the iPad. And just a couple quick bullet lists then. As I said, it's a document management system at the heart of it. It's very compliant, has the full built-in audit trail, has all the signatures and workflow approvals that you'd like to have. It also has built-in capability for that workflow to do training record management and other types of documents that you don't need formal signatures on and sign off on, but you do need to track it from on a basis there. Flexibility. This thing is quite modular, so you can go ahead and take many, many different types of components, the chemistry component. We have an inventory management component. We have many components we can talk about. I'm just trying to talk about the basics today. Another novel feature is to go ahead and have automated instrument data collection. So we can do that for you as well and suck that right into a notebook page for you. Very granular security. With this current release, we basically support all file formats, and we have an inline visualizer for any file format. Built-in spreadsheet, as I mentioned, the training record management, forms database. Yeah, I have 60 seconds. Inventory management, this is the last slide anyway. And that's it anyway. So I think, in the couple minutes I just gave you here, you have a pretty good idea what CERF's about. You have a couple screenshots. The idea is that it's going to go ahead and promote the collaboration and the sharing in the laboratory. And since it's so diverse with regard to the workflow and what it supports, it can basically support your entire organization across the board. Do I have any questions at all? Was that good, huh? Thanks a lot. I really appreciate it. You guys can visit me over there. Thank you.